Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Alla. If you are new here, I am a homeschooling mother of two and I work full-time outside the home. And in this video, I wanted to share a little bit about my yearly goals and how I incorporate yearly goals to actually feel more balanced in my life. I'm a very scheduled and organized person by nature, and I always have been this way. As far back as in high school, I would remember I would get those planners, I would get super excited, and I would plan out the classes that I would be taking and things like that. And so I've always liked planning. I just never implemented it in my life until I had kids. And then when my kids got older and we had to start juggling schedules, my husband's schedule, the kids' schedule, just doctor's appointments, play dates, things like that, I quickly had to turn to more of a structured planning style. And as the years have evolved, as my kids got older, that has changed from year to year. And especially when I started working outside the home, things got even more so busy. I guess that's the best way to say it. And I had to come up with a system that would work for me and make sure that I felt more balanced, that it wasn't just work, or it wasn't just home, or it wasn't just homeschool. None of one thing took higher priority or more of my time. And so over the last couple of years, I've kind of tweaked and changed things. And I feel like in this season of my life, what I have developed has worked very well. So I wanted to show you, just in case you are looking for something similar and want to try it out to see if this works for you. I'm going to turn the camera around to show you the goals that I have set for myself for 2024 and to show you how that is then distributed into the months and weeks and days and how that brings balance. Okay, so this is my 2024 annual goals, and I have 8 categories that I set them up for. And those 8 categories for me are spiritual growth, health and wellness, work and learning, family and relationships, financial goals, personal, fun and recreation, and physical environment. Some of these actually end up being more like habits that I want to maintain to make sure that I am, once again, bringing balance to my days in my life, and things that I find vitally important. And other ones are more like projects, like physical environment. A lot of those tend to be project based, but I'm going to just walk you through what my goals are, and then I'm going to show you my planner of how I schedule these things out. For spiritual growth, these are habits that I would just like to do, is read the Bible in a year. That is something that I do through an app that I listen to in the mornings. I like to do a Bible study, something that I'm continuously working on, more focused than just listening to it. And I definitely want to put in that I'm taking the time to pray, hopefully on a daily basis, but I know that days get busy, but that is still a priority. So when I get to health and wellness, this is also more of a habit. I want to make sure I am moving my body, making sure that I'm eating well, and that I'm drinking my water. I found out very quickly that I can be dehydrated and I don't feel well if I don't drink my water or eat healthy. And so those two things are very important, especially the eating thing with my mast cell activation syndrome. That is definitely something I have to prioritize. And for me, this ends up being a daily habit more than just project. So then work and learning. In this, when I didn't work, I prioritized being at home, more of an actual work type thing. So I approached it as a job, and I still want to continue to do that. And so I do have continued education for home, meaning, is there anything that I can revamp regarding my schedule, maybe something how I'm doing meal planning, grocery shopping, something. Can I continue and to learn in that kind of realm to better my family? And the same thing goes for work. Actually, the job that I do outside my home, that is something that I continue to work on. I want to make sure that I'm learning always something. Taxes always change. There's always new laws that go in effect. So that is something that I want to stay on top of, to make sure that I am aware of anything that needs to be made aware of pertaining to work. And then the next field is family and relationships. And this gets a little bit more of a gray area. It's not just a checkbox kind of thing, but the things that we focus on with family is one-on-one meals. I want to make sure I am taking the time to connect with my husband, my daughter, my son, just one-on-one, whether that's driving to an appointment, driving to an activity, something like that. My husband and I are both introverts, so we would like to host a gathering, and to push us a little bit more out of our comfort zone is making new connections. There's always opportunities to have people over, to go out to dinner and make new connections, whether that is through church, through work, or the people that we meet through our community. So just wanted to make sure that we don't stay hermits and live inside our house only. Financial goals. This one's going to be interesting because we are saving for a second car. My husband has a work truck, so we only technically own one car, but my daughter will be 15 and we will need a second car. When she learns to drive, she'll be taking driver's ed soon, and so we're just going to need a second vehicle for her if she ends up needing a car, so none of us are kind of stranded. Personal financial goals. My husband and I sat down. We have a specific goal we want to meet, and this is just a reminder to check in when I'm setting up the new budget for the month, to check in to make sure we are hitting those goals that we have set for ourselves, and if they are too high, if we need to readjust, if we need to move, whatever that may be, that's just a reminder. For personal, like I said, I'm a planner, so I like to take the time, and I will show you my planner in a little bit, but I like to take the time to make sure I set up my week, that I feel prepared. That is regarding school, home, personal, anything like that. I would like to know what my schedule for the week looks like, and so I typically sit down and do that on Sunday, but I do have to make sure I set aside time to do that. And then for me, to film YouTube, that is a personal thing that I would like to do. This actually brings me a lot of joy. I like to do it. I like to learn new things and share the things that I have learned over the years, and so I've put that under personal because it doesn't really fit anywhere else besides for that. Then for fun and recreation, I want to make sure that we are taking trips, whether with the kids, even if it's down to the beach. We live probably 10 minutes away from the beach, walking distance. You can see it from our house, and so I just want to make sure that we are taking advantage of the area that we live in, going to the beach, taking hikes. We live in the Pacific Northwest, and so there are so many different places we can go for hikes and all the beautiful things that we can see. And so I just want to make sure that we are hitting those. Obviously that's more of a spring, summer, fall type of things, but still I want to incorporate that. And the next thing is activities. We live in between two big cities, and I can either go down to Seattle for a lot of either concerts or games or plays and things like that, or I can go up north to Vancouver and do the same thing. So just looking at schedules to see what's around our area so that we can hit those activities, and just plan them ahead of time, see what we can do that's coming up, so I can plan for that, just so we can make memories in the fun and recreation area. And the last part I have is physical environment, and that is declutter spaces and redo the master bedroom. We have lived in this house for 5 years. The paint is probably 10 years old, if not more, and we have repainted most of the house. The only places that are missing is the master bedroom, master bathroom, and the landing. And so those are the last two spaces to do a makeover on, and decluttering spaces. That I feel like is an ongoing thing. Some places like the schoolroom can only be done during the summer when we're not in session, when I have a little bit more flexibility to work on them. In other places, it might be I might pick a cabinet in the kitchen and quickly declutter that. So those are the goals that I have set for myself. Some of them are pretty vague, like one-on-one meals, you know, host a gathering, make new connections, save for a second car, planning time. Those are kind of vague. There is not a specific time where it's a stop, a beginning and an end. But I'm going to show you as to how I incorporate that into my planning. So the planner that I use is the Erin Condren Life Planner, and I have been using this one, not this one specifically, this one is for the 2023-2024 year, but I've been using the Erin Condren planner probably for the last 4 years, maybe, yeah, 4 years, and I really enjoy it. And so what I use this for is to set up my month and then my weeks to implement all the things that are on my goals. So I'm going to show you January. This is the January spread. And what I do is I like to plan. I plug in all the things that need to happen, but then I try to sprinkle in a little bit of everything. As you can see, the haircuts here and breakfast, that was one-on-one meals. My husband and my son went out for haircuts and they always grab breakfasts together. That gives them the opportunity to do one-on-one time. That falls under the family and recreation. We had a girls' weekend with my sister-in-laws. That was a lot of fun. When I'm filming this, it's the 17th, so we just came back. That falls under fun and recreation and a little bit of personal time. So it was fun for me. It was a personal time to get away. So as you can see, I've already hit family and relationships, personal and fun, and that. Then the next activity that we have is my daughter has a haircut. This is a one-on-one type of conversation that we can have when we're going, either to and from, just to get caught up, just to make sure that I'm connecting with each child. The next thing that we have coming up this weekend is a reading weekend, and I don't have it on here because it's under personal. Maybe I should write that in there. Maybe I should write it in there. So it's a different color pen, but read more books. So what we decided to do this year, and this is the first year we're trying it, is something kind of like a read lock-in. And I don't know if you remember this from when you were growing up, but I remember in schools we would have a lock-in slumber party where the kids would show up to school, there would be a bunch of chaperones, and the school would be locked in and no one could leave, and it was a slumber party, really is what it was. And so we're doing something like that, except we're doing a reading weekend. We are getting books, we are setting ourselves up to read that day, and during that reading I am going to be decluttering my closet. So let me take you to the week. So this is the monthly plan, and I just kind of lay it out. It gives me a great idea of what is going on, what is happening, and then I plan my week. And as you can see here, here's our reading weekend, and I have cleaning, laundry that I can do while I'm listening to an audiobook, and then I have declutter master closet. And so as you can see, I'm having, what this hits for me is the personal and the physical environment. So I'm reading more books, which is one of my goals, and I'm decluttering a space. So I'm doing several things at once, and I'm making sure that that is something I prioritize when I am scheduling my weeks and my months. This also is a time for me to do my habits. So as I said, my Bible study is a very big deal to me. That's more of a habit. I check off clean eating, water intake. If I hit any of these, I mark these off. Not all of them are gonna correlate so smoothly from my goals to my planner. This is something that I do on a weekly basis. I check in with my monthly calendar, see what's coming up, if things need to be added, if things need to be removed, and then I look at my annual goals and see where I can plug in anything that is needed. Either it's a one-on-one meal with someone, with my child, checking in with them, maybe going on a date night with my husband. I'm checking in weekly with our financial goals and trying to see where that is. So this is how I balance the two. One of these lives in my planner or next to it, so I can, when I'm setting up the new month, so the month of February, when I go to set this up, this is gonna be in the forefront. We have anniversaries in February, birthdays in March, and April. So when I am setting those up, I am making sure I am checking something off from all of my annual plans, annual goals. And this is what helps me stay more balanced, that I'm not ignoring a certain part of my life. Well, I hope that helped you get a glimpse into my goals and how I schedule them to find a little bit more balance in my life, to make sure that I'm hitting all the key points and making sure that I reach my goals that I have set for myself. These are obviously always ongoing. I obviously have the ability to change things as I see fit, especially if unplanned things have come up. Last year, my mother-in-law was diagnosed with cancer, so a lot of my goals got put back on the back burner, and there was a lot of things that just didn't take a high priority just because we had other things going on. And so I hope this helps. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, the notification button, and you'll get notified when I post a new video. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you in the next one.